And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Digital Athletic League, or DAL, or DAL, or whatever you really want to call it. It is just kind of up to you and up for interpretation. We are back here yet again today for a best of one of Impact Crew versus Impact Beta. I'm one of your casters, just the letter H. It's a single letter. Hopefully, you don't forget it. And I am accompanied here by my co-caster, RogerRoger.
How's it going, guys? And yes, welcome to Season 4, Week 1 matchup here between Team Impact Beta and Impact Crew, two of the same organization, just separate teams here. We are going to be playing a three today. So let's go ahead and get into our map bans. First was Impact Beta. They're going to ban Chalet, and then Villa will be banned by Crew. And it looks like Consulate will be our first map of the day as we wait for Impact Crew to pick their first map.
I guess you could say it is a balance. See who is the favorite child among the organization, whether it be Crew or Beta, or C and B, on how, everything's up for interpretation. We are still waiting on our map bans. So while we are waiting on those, Roger, is there anything specifically you want to see? Any specific maps that we want to be seeing in the festival today?
Actually, so far we have Consulate already on the board, and looks like Crew has just banned, or excuse me, has just picked Coastline as their map. So we will be waiting to see which will be our decider if it comes down to it, as we see Beta banning Oregon, now leaving both Cafe Dostoevsky and Clubhouse, which ends up actually being banned. So Cafe will be our third map tonight if it goes down to the third map. So we're going to start off with Consulate, then Coastline, and then Cafe Dostoevsky for this matchup. Sides being picked here, it seems that Impact Beta will be attacking first on Consulate, and Crew will be defending first in that first map. On the second map, still don't have that update yet, but it does come through, and Crew will be attacking for that second map. Coastline, one of those maps that is kind of evened out now. However, using Nomad and Buck, as well as Sledge and Fuse, can do quite a number on the defense. What do you think there, H?
I think it is going to do quite a number on the defensive side. One of the ideas that I'm thinking we might be seeing a lot on Consulate, though, is what I have called the brick thrower strat, or much more commonly known as the basement strat, where you're holding much more of split, like the split site that is in tellers and like server room. You know what I'm talking about? They will hold the bottom room fully, and then they'll just have a pulse calling out shots to defend the tellers room from, I believe it's just called storage. So from storage, they will defend that top site very indirectly, just by shooting pellets all the way through the floor, hoping to hit a headshot, having pulse call all the shots, or having a very well-placed Valkyrie, if she's not banned, even though she commonly is, calling all those shots as well.
Yeah, it's some good thoughts there. We are just now waiting for our teams to join up in our lobby, as we also wait to see who will be defending and attacking first on Cafe. However, this being both of our first times in this league, I do believe. Is that right, H?
So this is technically my second time casting for this league, but this is my first time seeing these teams.
Okay, well, that brings quite a bit of fun for the two of us, as obviously we don't know either of these teams. This is my first match casting for DAL, and I'm honestly very excited to see what is going to happen today, as we are now waiting for our teams just to finish loading into the lobby, and we will get this matchup underway.
While we are waiting, what is your opinion on the new season that's coming out in, I believe, 12 days-ish?
Oh man. Oh man. Well, first off, let's go ahead and talk about our newest defender. I can't even remember her name.
I believe it's Thunderbird.
Is it
Oh no, that's the new one of the new operators is Thunderbird, and they allow them to heal.
Yes.
A very docked type method. And then do you think that's probably going to end up shaking that meta at all?
Yeah, so new operator, as you mentioned, her name is Thunderbird. She is going to get the Spear 308 that is one of Finka's ARs. That being said, as a defender, that's going to be huge, especially for defenders, having that AR. And as you mentioned, her stim canisters. One of those things that you can lay down sort of like an ADS, and as long as you're in that range, that area of effect, you can get a stim, be it from full health or from low health. And if you are a defender, you will be prioritized over attackers. So it's something that's definitely going to change up the game a little bit. I do believe you can, since you can place them all over the map, it'll be something that'll be very useful for the roamers especially. And also we have a reworked map for next season as well, and that's going to be Favela. H, what are your thoughts on that?
It's not going to be scuffed anymore. I'm
It's
going to
not
miss
gonna
my
be
scuffed
scuffed.
casual map where I could just play Oryx and run all the way through and destroy absolutely everything. It's just no longer, I don't think they're going to prioritize all those soft walls. And it's going to be a lot smaller on top of that, or I would hope it's going to end up being a lot smaller on top of that. So it does end up being one of those maps where you just get absolutely lost in it. And by the end of the game, you're just kind of trying to find the enemy team and you just are absolutely failing to do so. So hopefully they do a lot more improvements on it in both balancing regards and hopefully just make it a lot more fun in general. But
I
I
agree.
will miss my paper mache buildings and I will miss just catching everyone with their pants down by just busting through every
Just
single wall possible.
every single one. No, honestly, I am not a fan of Favela. Especially, this default build that they had for it that came out, what was that, season one, season two?
Hmm.
In on Siege. Unfortunately, I was not part of the beta, but that doesn't really matter. I've been playing Siege for ages, is what it feels like. But even playing Favela, it's just one of those maps that I feel like has definitely needed a rework for a long, long time. As you mentioned, all the wall bangs and all the destructive properties, especially uh, horizontally rather than vertically. It changes up the map quite a bit, in my opinion, and it's just something that you need to be extra careful with. Unlike a map like Consulate or Cafe, especially, considering that Cafe is going to be our decider today if we do need it. Um, Both of those maps have a lot of verticality, so using the vertical angles is always going to be important in your attacking push, especially in the opening rounds. You definitely want to get as many opening rounds as you can and get that early lead as well as the momentum.
It does end up being a very vertical based setup when it comes to both pushing and defending. And I think we are actually going to end up seeing a whole lot of that in both on Consulate and primarily on Cafe if we decide to go there. However, I feel like we will ultimately see who will come out on top on our one of our first maps, Coastline, because Coastline just tends to be one of those very frag heavy maps along with Consulate. So if you already have people who are very good at their mechanical skill rather than their playbook, you might already see them dominate Coastline and Consulate before you even think about going to Cafe, because both of those maps are much more based, or much more of I've seen victory based very heavily off of much more the gun skill and the DM skill of the individual players rather than them working as a team as a whole.
Correct. I will say here, I'm gonna go over and check chat real quick. Not many people so far chatting away, but I do want to know, guys, what is your guys' predictions for this matchup today? Is it going to be Impact Beta or Impact Crew taking this best of three in this week one of season four here on DAL, or will it be the other way? Crew beating Beta. I'm very actually very excited to see who comes out on top and who comes out with the first points for this season.
We will. It is at this point just a matter of time. We're having a few technical difficulties on our side, but in the end of it, we will end up figuring it all out, and we will get the stream up and running as soon as we can.
I
But
did it.
I don't know. I feel like we've been through most of the information, like at least the info dump that we can get going on there. Are there any sort of operator setups that you're expecting on seeing? I'm assuming on attack we're going to be seeing, the usual Sledge, Ash, Zafia, Hard Breach, Wall Denial, Denial, which I
Yeah,
said that twice because it has to be a double negative.
right. I do. I mean, one of my favorite operators. And if you go back to see any of the matches that I've casted, I always talk about Buck. Buck having the skeleton key, opening up everything that's being or that is able to be broken, literally. Especially on a map like Consulate or even Coastline, especially, you're playing the vertical angles, especially on the kitchen site when you have kitchen in service. It's just super important to make sure you're clearing out the top floor, opening up the walls, getting those vertical angles, especially if there's a mirror in play. You can take out the mirror window, which big change to mirror coming up here soon, but we'll get into that in just a second. And then, as you mentioned, but Sledge, Ash, Zoth, like all of them, all have that soft breach capability, which is going to come into huge play, I believe, on our second map today of Coastline.
One of the things that you're not considering is also just the uh, gadget denial that we all have, such as Zafia. If you go from below or above, you can easily get any sort of gadget taken down, unless it gets ADS by a very oddly placed ADS. Let's both admit that
Yeah,
there, because I don't know what Jaeger is going to just be placing one in the middle of some
yeah.
hallway. But you never know. You never know.
You never know. And, that being said, along the lines of the ADSs, we do definitely need to mention Wamai and his magnets and all the nutty places that you can really place those magnets. It literally could go anywhere on the map and stop anything coming through, including Thatcher's EMP grenades.
hmm Which is ironic, and I'm going to be honest with you here, Roger. I don't think we're going to be seeing any sort of Thatcher
I don't think
at
so
all.
either. I don't
Thatcher's
think
almost
so either.
always banned. Even if Thatcher isn't banned, no one plays Thatcher because Thatcher's always banned.
Yeah, no, well, no one plays Thatcher on Coastline. You don't need him. You don't need him. You don't need Thermite. Um, Personally, in my opinion, Hibana and Ace are much better operator picks for a map like Coastline. Especially again, once you're pushing kitchen, you can open up that service wall from the side and have a nice angle into there, as well as if you get it far enough on the right, you can actually get a nice little angle all the way through to the kitchen door. So if you're smart enough and you play Ace and Hibana, check those angles out if you haven't tried those out. Let's get a quick look over here as well onto chat once again. Um, it said Kaleo MG, Kalo, excuse me. You're playing in this match and you're saying Impact on top, but which one? Which one, my guy?
No,
We're
well, like
looking
no,
for
but
crew or
he's right.
beta.
He's right. Like if I had to place bets, I'd place bets on Impact winning. Like I don't know
On
what about you.
Impact.
Like I just place
Oh, I
bets on
mean,
Impact.
I
Listen,
don't think there's anything to vote against on that one.
exactly. See, you're understanding it here. You're understanding the hustle of betting on Rainbow Six Siege streams.
Oh my
But no,
God.
no, no.
But
I
real quick,
digress.
let's go through here. I want to give a couple shout outs to some of the people that are in chat, including Lily Foo, 420, Dual Rogue, Alvine, Pewd R6, House 50, Kalo MG, um, or R6 Karma, as well as DJ Two Toes and AX Right. I hope I'm saying that right. And Smoking Husky. And we've already got a couple people in chat talking about the teams. So far, it looks like there's more votes here for beta rather than crew. That being said, could crew come out with a surprise win here today?
That could be one of those things that we will be seeing, but yet again, only time will tell. So time will end up telling on whether or not we do end up seeing crew coming out on top. Just to be the contrarian, there has to be one. I'm gonna vote for beta and I'm gonna root for beta, only to be that weird contrarian guy. So that way it's not all that way. If one person wins on the beta bets, that whole pot doesn't go to him. At least we're splitting it in half. So we don't end up with some rich schmuck coming on with those Twitch points if that is allowed in our Twitch chat. But in the meantime, we are working on our best to get the players in. I believe it is an issue on the player side rather than on our streaming side. So please bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We are working on it as we
Yes,
speak.
I
I
am
am
aware of an issue that we were having with one of our teams who mentioned that they have been having issues with invites So I do believe that is what's going on, and that would be specifically our problem. We just need to figure out who we need to invite to really get this match underway so that whoever that was could join up off of their teammate rather than getting an invite. But it does seem that we're starting to get this match ready slowly but surely, as we do have, I do believe it's our IGLs in the lobby already, and we are now setting up the custom lobby for you all.
I, you know what? I think I'm just slowly and surely starting to run out of things to say and to do. So
I
I'm just
will.
gonna say.
Oh, what you're gonna say? What are you gonna
I'm
say?
gonna hope we end up seeing specifically the brick juggler strat, where just everyone has a C4 and they're holding it
Oh my
from
god.
a bottom angle, so it's much
And
more of a kill utility rather than a generally picking utility. That is something that I could totally see happening on either side. But another strategy that I have been seeing, I'm hoping we see some decent Maverick tricks going out, even though we're not going into Clubhouse. We might still be able to see one or two, which is, the famous spot for Maverick to do his
yeah.
job and do what Ubisoft did not intend for him to do in the slightest, as
you,
almost everyone does.
you
No,
know what I'm
Ubisoft
kind of
intends for
hoping
nothing to
for?
work right.
Right.
What's up?
You know what I'm kind of hoping to see today, especially as a week 1 matchup, is a knife fight. A good old nomad knife fight.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
have to
it's going to
no, it's
either.
not gonna happen. No one's gonna do that. At least not in some sort of competitive league. It's just one of those things where it's like that is the very, very last resort that you see people go to. And even so, you
Ah.
still have your pistol, but panic can in fact set in. So we will end up finding out on whether or not it will end up taking place. But we will find out. Hopefully, it does happen. Hopefully, it does happen. You be cautiously optimistic on anything you want to be cautiously optimistic on,
Yep.
but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got both teams in our lobby now. We're just setting up a few things here for you. Changing our team names specifically. Blue team today will be Impact Beta, and our orange team today will be Impact Crew. And once we have those in, I do believe we will get this match underway, and that'll be in just a moment here for you guys.
And we have done quite a lot of casual conversation, quite a lot. We are about to start. I believe we are just waiting for both teams to fully ready up. We have both teams in the lobby right now, and this is when we can start discussing our banning phases, or at least when we can start discussing our banning predictions. We want to get those hard reads that you'd see in other games. We are going on to consulate, so I wouldn't be personally surprised by a pulse ban if they are really paranoid about that. But I am fully expecting a Mira, a Valkyrie, and a Thatcher, or a Mira or a Valkyrie. Much more better wording.
Consulate being one of those maps that you can definitely use the Valkyrie to your advantage. I don't know if she'll quite be banned on Consulate. I'm kind of expecting it though for Coastline, considering it'll be a lot easier to get that information with Valkyrie, since Coastline is literally a square. However, one thing that a lot of teams still don't do, which I mean, we used to see a lot of it, is the Echo ban. But now it's more, Malusi being banned, more Mira still, as well as teams now understanding the importance, as you were mentioning, a Valkyrie ban.
Mm-hmm. Valkyrie bans are very common, or it's some sort of information ban. I think is
Yeah,
the general thing. You typically have a hard breach denial ban, a hard breach ban, information ban, and what I have called kind of a flex. Just that's whatever
yeah,
of some sort.
yeah.
I've
Yep.
just
I
noticed
mean,
many different operators get banned for that. So
yeah.
that's the
Um,
general.
In my opinion, though, for Consulate, I definitely see Mira getting banned. I definitely see Thatcher getting banned. Um, I would almost expect a Thermite to be banned as well. That or Callie, but considering that Callie doesn't really have a lot to say in this game quite yet. There's very few players who can play Callie well and really get the most out of her and her gadget and her weapons. Considering that she does carry that big what is that, a 300 Winchester round
Right.
um,
I
sniper
think it's just
rifle.
an anti-material rifle.
Yeah,
That's just
pretty
what it is.
much,
It's like a 50
pretty
caliber.
much. Yeah, those 300 Winchesters definitely going to deal plenty of damage. As we all know now, those changes for her for her damage have been changed, and this is for damage all around. As one bullet from Callie will down or kill any one speed, and or excuse me, will kill on impact any 3 speed. Excuse me. Then a 2 speed will be instantly knocked, and then a 3 speed, unless it is a headshot, will take, or excuse me, a 1 speed 3 armor will take damage but will not be downed. So into this first map we go on Consulate,
Mm-hmm.
and
We are
here we go.
finally back
Impact
in the
Beta,
saddle.
Impact Beta attacking on this first map, as Impact Crew will be defending here first.
And then Impact Crew is going to be getting that first ban and went through very quickly. $5. It's a Thatcher. It's not a
Oh, it's a
Thatcher.
Maverick.
We're seeing a
It's
Maverick ban go through already. I would argue that on Consulate, he's not nearly as important of an operator to be carrying, but it is definitely a very strong operator to be banning, especially if you do not plan on having a playbook centered around him, because he can use those Maverick tricks, and you can't jam a blowtorch. So picking Maverick would force pick out the Cade. So if they also ban Cade, I don't know what they'll be going at exactly. We're also going to be getting a Jackal ban as well. So they're going to be going for a very roam heavy strategy in the hands of Impact Beta when they eventually go to the defending side. I feel like we are going to end up seeing the Cade ban, although I would not be surprised if they didn't, because he is very strong on sites such as Garage, because you can easily hide claws in places where they are super hard to get to, so they can keep that wall electrified for as long as possible. And I stand fully corrected so far as we're getting Mira, and we only have one ban left on the table. Will it be Valkyrie Arcade, do you think?
Um, honestly, I don't think it'll be either. It'll probably be Malusi or Clash, in my opinion here. But here we do see the mute. So an interesting bit of um banning here, as we did see in the chat. Noda Sinner asking if the Maverick ban was a target ban for him. And it means, which could definitely mean Noda Sinner being a Maverick main. So interestingly enough, Thatcher's still on the board, and Sinner's going to go ahead and take that. As we see our defenders all just about readied up. We're going to see Jaeger Valkyrie, Maestro Goyo, and Aruni for this first console and meeting room site, and then a Capitao, Nomad, Thatcher, IQ, and Zofia, as we see Draz 6 pick off of the Capitao for the Thermite.
They have no wall denial on that bottom half on the defensive side at all. Granted, with the map with the site that they are going on, they don't really need a wall denial, or you can argue with the lack of a wall denial. But still, it's one of those things where it's very weird to see quite a lack of. They might be dropping it for them in favor for information. You know, you have both the Valkyrie and the Maestro, so you're going for a much more frag heavy strategy rather than a attrition heavy strategy. Or they're just going to wing it and kind of see what happens. You could argue they still have that wall denial, the quote unquote wall denial, in the hands of the Aruni, because they can't destroy those at all. But it will lock down any sort of projectiles or people coming all the way through or attempting to worm their way through, because they either have to take the damage straight to the face or they have to sacrifice some sort of gadget.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I do like playing the Aruni, or I like the way, or the fact that they're bringing the Aruni, as you kind of saw the punch holes from the administrative office looking towards the stairs, which is going to be a major choke point here, as we do now see our attackers making their way towards the map here. Nomad unfortunately missing a few shots on the cameras. Now we see Sledge and IQ making their way up towards admin. Interestingly enough, I didn't actually notice this, that IQ has the new hollow sight on her commando, on her 5.52.
Rather than the ACOG, which is a very interesting pick to be going for. But there are people who are a lot better with the hollow or with a red dot or with a reflex coming in rather than the Echo. We're seeing Viper show off his absolute perfected way to get carpal tunnel, unless it's on the side of his mouse. Just absolutely getting those really well timed peaks going through into our office. So he's just really quickly peeking through, peeking out, and just kind of hoping to catch any sort of person through a
Ooh.
rotate hole. Our Rooney trying to get a peek as well, but Viper's going to show that he is holding down this presence and he does not die in the hands of it. Eddie getting the first kill of the entire round, coming in against our Jaeger, probably the roamer. Not the strongest pick to be getting, or at least the strongest pick in terms of operating.
Yeah, however, though, taking off that 416C of Jaeger as Viper goes ahead and gets Alvin, and now Crew are left in a 3v5 with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the round. We do see Notice Sinner on the Thatcher holding the long angle towards meeting, trying to get a shot through to some feet, it seems like, as now we see plenty of drone work being done as well. And nothing doing, unfortunately, for the Thatcher. Eddie on drone as well, but that drone is going to be taken out quite quickly as he now makes his way towards the stairs, going to put down a Nomad air jab on those admin stairs and going to get a quick peek over towards the main office there, towards that secretary space, but it's not going to connect everything that he needs, as now we see Maestro on just under half health. The plant is going to start to come down from the thermite of Draz, and now they just need to hold this site as we see Viper going to get the headshot, and now in a 5v1, and Notice Sinner going to get the final kill, and a flawless round here for Beta. Wow, what a first round here in this Season 4 Week 1.
I at first thought that the thermite was a little bit AFK for a hot second because I saw him still all the way outside, but he somehow wormed his way into the building and was able to plant the bomb. I feel like the weakness point that we saw with our defending team for Impact Crew or IC, if you do want to call them that, you can argue that it was just a lot of mechanical skill that I felt like were lacking. I noticed that they were losing all of their gunfights, but they were very cleverly using the environment to their advantage to both hide and also get the optimal amounts of cover that they need in order to try to win those gunfights. So I feel like if they just position themselves a little bit better, they will end up winning round 2.
Right, and we do have a tactical timeout being called already, interestingly enough. Not sure if there's a connection issue or if there's something else going on, but it does seem that a tactical timeout will be called here by Sir Bad Bunny on Impact Beta.
We will
Just
end up
trying to...
seeing what they do with this timeout. I'm assuming it is to probably fix a technical issue. Because I've noticed, especially for these not land tournaments, for these online tournaments, it is typically to help solve a technical issue on the side of the players rather than trying to figure out on what strategy to use in order to beat a player. It is typically, hey, one of our dudes is out, like our computer shut down and we can't.
Yeah, I have not spoken French in ages. I have not read French in ages. So it's definitely going to take me a little bit to get used to this once again. Or I could, call my brother and have him translate for me.
I have no faith in myself. I never took French. Never thought about taking French. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I have my one language. I'm good. I'm good. So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hope that they're keeping it clean in that chat. And for all the people who can read French, please please don't tell me if they're not keeping it clean. I'd prefer not to know that from a
oh,
professional standpoint.
please tell me if there's a bunch of trash talk in there, because that would be fun. That would be fun to know about. Um, And as I'm looking back towards chat, we are just finishing up this first round, as we are still waiting for this tactical timeout to be over. And man, I didn't realize it until just now. The thermite that was being played here was actually on extremely low health, just barely taking just a sliver of damage towards the end there, before the plant went down. But well done. I do believe that was Sinner who was on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, excuse me, he was on Thatcher. Was that Draz
Draz
on the
was on
thermite?
thermite. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Draz playing that thermite just earlier. Well done. Like I said, he was on very low health. He just managed to push through and get behind the bomb, have that solid cover, successfully get the plant down, and the push came out from center on the Thatcher there using the L85. I do believe that is right. And then and securing that final kill for the first round.
I just felt like they got pinched really hard. They just didn't really know what to do in their situation because we saw people coming in from both CEO and our main office, and they put a lot of effort into office, so they really couldn't defend CEO as effectively. But that might change a little bit as we are going down to cafeteria garage because that is much easier to defend point rather than that CEO second floor defensive point. It is much more of you focus on getting that garage door and you focus on keeping it closed, and in the end of it, it will end up crumbling down soon after. We are going for the K pick, so that is exactly what they do plan on doing. However, with a Thatcher on board in the hands of Impact Beta, it is really not going to take very long for our attacking team to get through that garage door.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Crew went ahead and showed their hand so early, considering that there was this long timeout. Um, because now they may or may not six pick. It does look like Alvin is going to use that six pick, go off of the pulse for the dock. That or he might change it again. But as you did mention, the Kaid being brought through, but we do have a Thatcher and an IQ to both take care of those Electro Claws, and then as well as Nomad, Zofia, and Thermite. Mainly Nomad and Zofia for any soft or hard breach, as well as Nomad who has stuns, so she will be that main kind of flex support, in my opinion, is what she does best. But yeah, as we now go on to round 2, 15 seconds left in the prep phase. Our defenders bringing Kaid, Jaeger, Malusi, Smoke, and Doc. And once again, our attacking lineup is reading as Thermite, Nomad, Thatcher, IQ, and Zofia.
And I am going under heavy assumption we are going to be seeing this garage door get pushed through very quickly. We already have the barricade taken down on our yellow stairs towards that outside area with the attacking team coming up through that main entrance there. I'm going to assume be rushing all the way to that garage door. They've already made it to yellow stairs. Bad Bunny's already going to be trying to drone it out to try to call out any sort of gadgets, while Sinner and Draz are going to be working on trying to get this garage door open. They throw one impact grenade, but they're not going to throw a second one. They're just going to take the gamble that the K doesn't know how to K trick, which, while that is a very hard feat, is still a possibility. And they already have that garage door open 30 seconds into the match, and they already do have that door open. That is a very strong amount of holds, a very strong amount of time that they have now fully released for themselves in our attacking round. Bad Bunny trying to go through our main floor as well, doing their proper drone work, doing their proper callouts. Eddie getting their Nomad on to cover that flank, to cover any sort of run out. But in the ends of it, I feel like Impact Beta has already set themselves up for a victory for this round because they've already quickly pushed in. They're already very quickly trying to get doing a very effective roam clear.
Yeah, I did notice that IQ was pushing quite quickly through the press room and through that hallway. However, I felt like it was maybe just a tad reckless, as someone definitely could have been inside the bathroom waiting for someone, as now we see Eddie going to get the first pick onto Alvin, and there goes the Doc of all operators. Quite a big pick there, but however, Alvin not doing much to impact this matchup so far. A Thermite charge, or excuse me, a Thatcher EMP will go off, and the Thermite charge definitely goes off to open up the wall and the hatch all at the same time. Well done, and plenty of destruction being done here already. We see Thatcher starting to make his way down towards the garage door and make sure he's got that extra angle for his team to start making their push as well. And we've got 50 seconds left on this clock already in a 5v4.
Not Sinner's going to be just absolutely long-arming a drone over into garage to try to get any sort of information going through. Our attacking team needs to make something happen and make it happen soon. They still have that 40 seconds left on the clock, So they have a relative amount of time, but they really do need to be dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's if they want to get something effective. And Eddie is going to be showing that they have dotted their I's, crossed their T's
Yes.
by taking down jumps in the hands of the cage. Draz is already planting. I don't even know how he even got onto site at all. He is somehow on there behind our white van, I would assume, and that is exactly where he did plant it. Sinner going to take down Oz, taking down Viper. It's a 3-2 in our Impact Beta favor. The defuse is down, and the defuse is down, and the plans are set. Bunny taking down one more player, coming in the hands of Yinteg. I'm sorry if I absolutely butchered that, but Bad Bunny's going to be able to find the final kill on a headshot against Buys as well. So we are going to be, he was just holding out that angle to try to get any sort of rotate, and it did end up paying off in that very disgusting flick.
Wow. That's all I have to say about that round. Wow. However, the Kaid play just wasn't quite strong as it needed to be. He needed to actually back off, in my opinion. Just back off a little bit off of the angle, not get picked off, and waste a little bit more time and really force Beta to push in and try to get that plant down before the Kaid went down himself. Just kind of unfortunate there for Crew, as now we're moving on to round 3 and going back up to console office and meeting.
I will have to. I feel like it's already set. Impact Beta has already shown their competency in their basic mechanical skills, where Impact Crew is going to be having a very hard hill climb. It could easily turn around. Impact Crew could be those ones where we didn't warm up before the match. This is our warm up. You never know.
Yeah, and Consulate being one of those maps that is actually, I would argue that Consulate is a quite defender heavy sided map. So that being said, the defense obviously going to have a little bit more of an advantage than the attackers, but also again, Crew not defending very well at the moment as they are down 2-0. I'm just hoping that they can turn something around, maybe grab at least 1 or 2 rounds before this half is over, as they're definitely going to need it, and they're going to need that little extra bit of morale for that second half.
We are going to be going back into the races. We're having Bad Bunny already just fast balling over to that roof sign, going to try to take out all the default camps, successfully doing so, and watching this main hallway trying to catch any sort of rotate. This seems to be the strategy of Impact Beta. Impact Beta seems to hold very quickly or hold very passively until they get a pick, and then they move fully in and they go for the bell. They go for the plant as soon as they can. We're going to be seeing Eddie trying to catch out anyone. They know that the Vigil is somewhere in office, but not exactly in office, but they can assume, they can guess. They're getting a lot of callouts going through, and one of the things I have noticed Impact Beta doing is properly droning out, or at least probably droning out Impact Crew and able to save their drones to boot.
Oh, and plenty of shots going to come out and connect onto Viper, who is already on half health. The printer window also open, and now Alvin is kind of trapped, but he's going to get the first frag onto Viper, and there goes the Zofia, but he's going to be taken down just as quickly by Sinner. And now we're into that 4v4 that you mentioned, waiting for that first pick and then starting to make their way, as now we see Eddie going to get jumps, and now the Vigil of Bricks, I think is Boys? I don't know how to say that.
I believe it's Boys.
Boys? All right, well, Boys making his way up the spiral stairs now, as now we see the Legion and Maestro both on site, holding it down quite hard. I wonder how many goo mines he already has on the floor here, but it won't matter too much since Bad Bunny is playing that IQ. Draz going to get Boys on the rotate, and now Oz and Yenteg, it left in a 2v4.
We are down to a 2-4 in our Impact Beta favor. It's not in the biggest of favors of Oz and Yinteg. Oz just going for this really just very interesting other way to get carpal tunnel, just going for the easy flicks and the easy leans. Bad Bunny going to instantly lock on and getting into a second kill as he gets both of them with very clean headshots going through as he just runs all the way through that main CEO area, or much more of a projector room into Sofa.
Yeah, that was definitely a great push there from the IQ. Going through the already made rotate from the defenders, I'm surprised that no one had eyes on that angle. Quite unfortunate there for Impact Crew. However, once again, well done by Bad Bunny there to push in through there and make sure he got both of the headshots that he needed to get to end that round.
I would have to agree with that point. We're going back down to Cafeteria and Garage. They are not going for the Cade this time. They are opting for the Bandit, probably trying to Bandit trick it a little bit more effectively, if at all. But I'm surprised that they are not going for. No, they did pick the Valkyrie. They might be going for a Valkyrie cam over near Garage or close to that Garage, or much more likely on top of that, using the Mozzie to their advantage. They have a lot of information, and if Alvine shows his competency in bandit tricking against this Thermite, they might still be able to hold that garage wall for at least a little bit longer than we saw it be held in the hands of the Cade. In the hands of the Cade Claw, because they were able just to Thatcher it out, and it's really hard to Cade trick any sort of thing, especially if they only used one grenade, but if they just used two, they're just absolutely screwed.
Yeah, I do agree with that, as now we see the smoke making that default rotation from the garage to the cafeteria, and Jaeger making his way to that top floor, definitely going to be roaming, try to slow down his attackers, as now he makes his way down the spiral stairs. But we do see Mozzie being brought out here as well, trying to capture those drones and get a little bit of extra intel, as we do also have the Valkyrie on the board. But I'm very curious to see what actually our Bandit is doing. Is actually Eddie trying to get those shots through? I think that was Jaeger that was up. No, who was that upstairs?
They're just scaring someone. It's all right. Just scaring someone's all right. It works out. It keeps their head down. We don't get any sort of picks going. Alvine is going to be going for that bandit trick. Bynes kind of snuck in this position in CEO. I'm assuming he's going to be forced out, taking down the drone with him. But one of the best solutions that Bynes can have to his disposal is just to back off at this point. He has to kind of just give up, or at least hold from a different position. They are going to be going for a bandit trick. I don't think that Thermite has planted it at all, so he might just be. He's just kind of holding. He's just kind of waiting to see what happens. Bynes takes down a C4 kill against Sinner. That is the Thermite down. That is such a strong pick for the defensive hold down in Garage. That allows them to basically permanently hold that garage door. Or at least in theory, permanently hold that garage door.
And I'm not sure if there's any intel outside that can really confirm who they killed, because I don't think that that information obviously has not been passed through over to Alvin, who's playing on the bandit. All he really needs to do now is just leave his bandit batteries on that wall, and he's good to go for the rest of the round here with a minute and 30 seconds left. As now we see the IQ trying to make her way towards that side door for the yellow stairs. The Jaeger going to be droned out just as well, and the Mozzie Pest going to stop Bad Bunny's drone, but he's going to get Alvin very quickly, as now he's tied things up, and he will also get jumps. Well done, and the wall now is opened up. So unfortunately, the biggest flaw here was the fact that there was no intel on who was killed here. I think they needed to kind of assume that, you know, most of these players have been playing the same operators throughout this match so far. So seeing Noda Sinner's name up in that death chat should have been a huge indicator. However, Boy's going to be taken down, and Bad Bunny on a triple kill already, which leaves him and his team in a 4v2. Eddie going to get Oz, and no more ace possibility here for Bad Bunny, as Eddie is going to claim that second kill, and attackers of Impact Beta
I think Bad Bunny
absolutely dominating here.
I think Bad Bunny showed exactly what I was talking about. They have a lack of mechanical skill, or much more of that is something that they duly need to work on by the looks of it, because Bad Bunny literally just walked through yellow stairs, shot one person, shot a second person, was able to catch our Valkyrie out on third stairs off a pixel. So it's very clear that Bad Bunny is kind of the entry fragger on the teams of Impact Beta. So in the ends of it, you are kind of looking at someone who is the entry fragger, who is really good at walking in, getting 3 kills, and doing exactly that. They walked in, got 3 kills, and that's what ended up winning them the round. Because then it quickly turned from a 4-5, which should have been a fairly easy victory in the hands of Impact Crew, into a W4 Impact Beta. But they also gave up that garage door very quickly. They had no hand grenades or anything, and even if they did, they had no hand grenades on the attacking side to throw through that drone hole to take down the bandits. But even if they did, you still had the ADS. I don't know what happened to those bandit batteries at all. They just seem to have evaporated.
Well, the first one, there was one on the wall when Thatcher was killed. Thatcher managed to disable that first battery, but obviously after a certain amount of time, that battery comes back online. But the fact that the C4 kill was not communicated well. They know Impact Crew know, from the previous rounds that Notice Center is playing Thatcher. If that, which normally tends to be the same operator being brought out by the same player, if you have that clocked, you get that information, you know that the Thatcher's dead, then Bandit can put down his batteries and focus his attention elsewhere, which was ultimately what did it in for Crew, as now we see Bad Bunny once again going to get that first frag of the round onto jumps. Unfortunately, 3 players for Impact Crew, 0 and 4, 0 and 5. Yeah, just not doing very well for their sides, as we see Bad Bunny on nearly a perfect game, as he's gone 8, 1 and 0. So 0 deaths for the top fragger here so far, as well as actually most of the rest of his team.
It does seem to be just again, what I keep repeating, just like a broken record, just comes boiling down to mechanical skill. We are seeing a lot of information being utilized and a lot of defensive strategies being utilized, but in the end of it, or much more of when it comes down to it, you do have to know how to use your gun properly in order to kill the enemy players. We are seeing quite a lot of strategy and quite a lot of playbook ideas coming through. Alvine taking out Bad Bunny, but we're going to be seeing
That's
a
huge.
refrag coming in from Viper into Yintig, and then it's just going to ultimately end up melting down as Impact Beta takes out Impact Crew. Not a center taking down Alvine, getting revenge for his fallen teammate, for his fallen top fragger. Bias getting caught into a gunfight as well, but ultimately getting taken down. And I hope he left his Echo drones in places where he really enjoys having them, because now they can no longer move. It is just down to Oz against the world. 1v4 against the Impact Beta. He's just kind of holding down in the piano room, just kind of camping, hoping to catch anyone on a rotate out. But it seems to be that Impact Beta has already gotten their vertical advantage that they were looking for. So they are able to just absolutely pincer attack Oz. Oz finding a headshot onto Viper from down in piano room, rotating all the way over to Yellow Stairs, getting called out by that drone, getting kind of scared. There is not much more that Oz can do in this situation. He's trying his best and he's trying his hardest, but they're ultimately, I feel like all they need to do is just plant that defuse, and they already got it. Oz is sitting in the basement, and if they have already droned out that main floor, they've already figured it out. Draz is working on that defuse already over in main hallway. Oz is being a little bit too cautious, trying to find out on where the players are. He only has 40 seconds left on the clock, and honestly, I think it is already in the bag for Impact Beta.
Yeah, as we see already going into round 6 now, Impact Beta just absolutely dominating once again this entire round. There was a minute and 30 seconds left, I believe it was, before I think just after Impact Beta lost Bad Bunny, it was a minute and 30 seconds left, but they were already left in a 4v1 over Crew.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to round 6, Crew definitely needs to do something here and figure out how they might be able to beat Beta, but it doesn't look like it's going to go their way as per this round history so far. Moving on to round 6, they need at least one round if they want to try to contest in the second round. As we all know, it is first to 7, and Impact Beta looking well on their way to get a perfect match here in a 7-0.
And we are going to be going back into our setup phase. They're going to be trying a CEO projector room hold yet again. They do have the playbook strats, but we are getting a Cav pick. A very odd pick in the hands of Jumps. I'm going to hope that Jumps knows how to play that Cav, because as we all know, when it comes to pubbing or it comes to a public lobby, in the hands of Cavs, they are either literally god tier gamers or they are absolute trash. So hopefully Jumps is in that former boat where he is able to get all the kills that he needs in order to win the first round for Impact Crew. But Impact Beta already has a 5-0 advantage, and a 5-1 split is something that they can absolutely work with, especially with Consulate being considered a very defensive-sided map. with a 5-1 split on the attacking side. Alvine barely getting out with his life as he tries to go onto that balcony and throw out a very, very cheeky yet effective Valkyrie cam.
100%, but it won't do much as Bad Bunny's probably already looking for that camera and more than likely going to take that out just as quickly. I'm not sure if he's quite found it, as now we see Valkyrie in the little highlight there of her silhouette making her way, trying to open up that window and scare the IQ of Bad Bunny. And now we see this Valkyrie cam. What? Wow. What a camera placement. That landed on top of the wall. That landed on top of that outside wall. Not sure what he was doing there with the C4. He wasn't going to get anyone, unfortunately, as most of our attackers have made their way all the way up to the roof, if not on rappel, as now we see Bad Bunny on rappel. And Alvin going to get another opening frag here onto Eddie this time. And there goes the Nomad, so no more rotate denial.
Bad Bunny going to be holding out that angle on the window as they end up usually doing so. They might end up fully swinging in and getting another kill. We will find out in the end. It is a minute 40 left on the clock. They still have plenty of time. It is a 1v. It is a 4-2-5 advantage on the Impact Crew side. Much more of which is something that you do not see just as often. Jumps running all the way around, trying to catch anyone out with buys on our pulse. Able to call out anyone that he sees from down below, showing off that down below strat I was talking about earlier.
Ooh.
They're going to be going for a lot of gunshots, but it's not going to land any sort of stock by the looks of it. They're trying to catch out the pulse. They're trying to counter out that pulse, which does end up not paying off any dividends. We're going to be seeing Bad Bunny taking down Alvine, getting revenge. Bine's getting taken down by Bad Bunny yet again over on those main stairs into Projector Room, getting caught out by a smoke. That room is now fully denied. They can easily wait it out. They have the full time to do so. And Jumps gets taken down after that insane gunfight in that insane area. The Moss Break is what ultimately does Bad Bunny in the first line of home defense with the lucky cat in the hands of our smoke, who was already denying it in the first place. Oz hanging out in our CEO room, getting called out by our not by our C4, by our drone. Not a Center getting caught into a little bit of a gunfight as well. Not a Center also taking down Yentik and also taking down Oz, long arming it from our main hallway into CEO room.
Yeah, and very well done once again there by Veda to take this map. Already 6-0. The execution was nearly flawless. However, they did lose Bad Bunny towards the end of that round. But let's get a quick little tidbit here, or some kind of talk about Bad Bunny. He is absolutely fragging out. And by the way, our observer Pichu doing a great job so far this match. Could you actually, Pichu, could you show us that the scoreboard real quick, as we are starting to go, or as we're going to go back down to cafeteria and garage? I would love to see the scoreboard here coming up real quick. Your tab, if you're on, well, yeah, tab. There you go. So yeah, real quick, looking at this, Bad Bunny already on 11-2 with 1 assist. We have Eddie on 7-2 with Noda Sinner 8-1, and then Viper and Draz both on 3-1 kills respectively. They've just been able to execute everything so well. And it has really paid off for them. As you mentioned earlier, the drone work has been absolutely impeccable. All the information being fed through to the entire team of Beta as they get their drone work done quickly and effectively, and then execute on that information.
And they are doing so with great amounts of prejudice. We are getting the Blackbeard pick on the attacking side, which seems to be a very interesting pick, because Blackbeard is not what he used to be. Oz getting taken from Bad Bunny all the way from up there, and Bize also gets killed. 2 spawn peaks already out, and we're going to get Oz fully revived up, but that's still a lot of damage taken down. Impact Beta's already got it in the bag. Bad Bunny finds another double kill coming in on the attacking side. Jumps is just having a little bit of a crisis over there, a bit of an existential crisis as he tries to cope with exactly what has happened. Alvine very cautiously approaching these windows, but I feel like Impact Beta has already gotten it through, unless Jumps finds a kill coming in against Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny getting a little bit greedy with their headshots, but Jumps was able to find the exact pixel that they were trying to run through. But all Impact Beta needs to do now is just hold and wait. Neither Nomad nor Blackbeard have a lot of pushing power.
Yeah, we see the drone come in, but it won't go to use right away. The Blackbeard takes all of the damage. Notice Sinner being able to pick up that 4th frag. Now Alvin left in a 4v1. He is on full health, but his opponents are also all on full health as now he makes his way to the roof. Not sure if maybe they'll try to take a little in-game timeout here and talk about what they may need to do for the next map of Coastline. But it seems that Alvin is just kind of making his way over, gonna start his push. Draz has somehow already taken some damage, not quite sure what he's taken. Oh, it's from the smoke as he makes his way through. He's already taken 25 damage from that smoke. Not sure what he's really trying to do there. Headshots are gonna miss just barely, and Viper going to capitalize on that and finish out this matchup on first map of Consulate 7-0 for Impact Beta.
Impact Beta able to take the first map for the Mad W coming in on Consulate, and I feel like it is already shown a really green light for Coastline, because Coastline is a little bit fraggier than Consulate in my opinion personally, because it's just all the strategies are much more set in stone than they are for Consulate. So I feel like at least for the painting of this series, Impact Beta has already shown that they will probably end up taking this all the way to the finish line.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that. Impact crew not making much of an impact to themselves on this matchup, as they were absolutely dominated here on our first map of Consulate. And we are guys, we are going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, we will be ready with Coastline for you guys. So we'll see you in just a few minutes. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DAL Season 4, Week 1. We do apologize for the little extended break. We're having a few technical issues on the player side. However, we are back in lobby, and we are just about ready to get back into it on our second map of Coastline. I've already taken a quick look at the chat, and I see AX Right saying he's betting on a 7-1 scoreline for this next map. And yeah, so I do believe it is Impact Crew who will be attacking first, and Beta will be defending first here on Coastline. What can we expect here from both of these teams, Hage?
I do feel like we are going to be seeing Impact Beta absolutely sweeping house yet again. We did just see a 7-0 coming in on Consulate, a frag heavy map, and I would argue that that Coastline is even harder so a frag heavy map. So it wouldn't come to much of my surprise if we saw another one yet again, a bit of a twofer. But again, like a broken record, we'll end up finding out. I feel like we are going to be seeing another target ban of Maverick yet again. Although I feel like they might not go for a target ban this time. They might be going for a much more sensible ban. Hopefully, they go for a much more sensible ban.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the name change did not save properly. But we all know that the orange team is Impact Crew, as our blue team is Impact Beta, and our first ban for this map is Jackal. Not sure if I quite agree with that as the defending side here.
Jackal is a very good pick to be going at to ban, and we're getting another ban up IQ. I'm assuming that is also
definitely a target ban.
Definitely a target ban. Jackal ain't, because Impact Beta was definitely very roam heavy in their defensive strategy. They were going for a much more frag heavy strategy in their defending. So getting a Jackal off on the board from the hands of Impact Beta is a very good strategy, in my opinion, if they want to keep doing that shenanigans. And we are also going to be getting a Jaeger ban coming through. God. We're seeing a lot of very interesting bans coming in today, people, but we don't see the Jaeger ban every day because he was picked so gosh darn often. We are going to be clutching very hard on that Wamai for our projectile denial.
Hey Pichu, bring up the chat real quick. I don't know if you guys caught this. Scroll up a little bit. he said, no cap Lemute. He said, no, as soon as the IQ was banned. I'm sorry, I don't know why I found that so funny, man. It just tickled me a little bit. That was entertaining. But here we go, on to round one, and our teams both picking their starting operators. Now, as once again, we'll go over these bans of Jackal, IQ, Jaeger, and Valkyrie. As I mentioned earlier, the Valkyrie ban definitely going to be brought out here on Coastline. I'm surprised though that so this is what I was saying. Jackal was the first ban. Why not ban Nomad instead of the Jackal?
Jackal is just easier to track down those roamers rather than it is much more of an active sense of roam hunting rather than a passive sense of flank coverage, because Nomad provides a much more passive, I'm going to put that there because I'm expecting them to come from there, rather than I'm going to actively search them out and try to find them. Sinner, on the other hand, is going to be going for a Capcan pick, and we are also going to lose our Blackbeard pick in the name of Binds, and we're going to be keeping our Lion pick in the name of Oz. We're going to be seeing a team kill coming out already. We're not even like round one. We're barely round one, and Viper has already taken down Draz. Was that for a skin? I'm pretty sure that was probably because they had a skin on.
Oh, it could be. It could very well be. And I'm sure we'll take a look at that here in a moment. But we will see the Capcan make his way over towards service entrance to try to deal just a little bit of early damage on this map here. And as I mentioned before, it is a very this is a very simple map to play on. You have two sets of stairs which both lead to the top floor. The only other way to get to that top floor is by rappelling, or if you have an Oryx on the board, you could definitely jump through the hatches. But we do see Jumps starting to make his way and almost getting a shot there onto, I do believe that was the smoke of Eddie, who's sitting on those cool vibe stairs. excuse me, at the top, and yes, it was almost dealt a little bit of damage there, but unfortunately nothing going to connect. As now Bad Bunny's going to go for a quick spawn peek, but he's not quite going to get any shots on, as we see Viper as well over in Aquarium, and Bad Bunny making his way towards that couch. I'm not sure if he remembers that as the Vigil, he can activate his ability immediately when the Lion drone goes off, and he can keep moving around without being detected.
So we are going to be getting caught into a bit of a standstill on the hands of Impact Crew. Impact Beta successfully holding off, even though they are a player short. Yenteg on our hookah lounge balcony, trying to catch any sort of runouts. Alpine getting caught out a little, not Alpine. We're going to be seeing Viper caught out a little bit on our line, playing a little bit of red light, green light. Alpine taking down Bad Bunny. That is a very solid pick. We're going to be seeing Alpine taking down Not a Sinner all the way out in blue bar. So it is down to a 2-5 advantage. Bias barely getting out with his life as Eddie tries to gun him down. We're going to be seeing our hands. Alpine going through onto Cool Vibes. Jumps getting taken down as well. Eddie finding a double with the box that shoots bullets. A triple. It is down to a 2v1 in the hands of Viper. This is very easily winnable for Viper if he continues this frag-heavy campaign that we have seen him on, trying to get a hole going through with his MP5K, but it's not quite the kind of firepower that he needs to be getting. So he's going to whiff a C4 down Cool Vibes and ultimately get gunned down by Oz, and the first W coming in for Impact Crew.
Yeah, very well executed there by Impact Crew. Honestly, there wasn't much else to really comment on except for those early frags that they actually, the early refrags, excuse me, leaving Crew in a 2v1 there at the end. I do believe that had mainly to do with Draz bringing a skin that was not allowed. Unfortunately, we weren't able to quite see that. However, he will now bring Mira as he's reconnected to this map and this match as we go down to Kitchen and Service for round number 2.
We are going to be going into our second round. Thankfully, they 6 picks off that Flores, because that would have been another team kill having to go through in hands of the Amaru. A bit of the Domino's delivery driver, as I always call her, because she just kind of goes in, delivers the C4 to that point, and either dies or plants it. There's no in-betweensies. But if enough noise is created, we can properly see in Aruni going all the way through into there. But with our defending side of Eddie on our Muzzy and Bad Bunny on our Vigil for our primary realm, it is now in a much more fair fight rather than a 4-1 right out of the gate. So Impact Beta might already be able to swing it all the way around.
So I don't know if you noticed, but this mirror window and little rotation hole being made, hopefully holding on to a reinforcement just in case. But this is what I mentioned earlier, that wall on Service, you can definitely open up the left side. If you look over at that left side of the Service wall next to the bathrooms, you could definitely open that with Hibana. However, there's no Hibana. There's really no hard breach on the board here. But if you did bring one, you could open up that left side or right side if you're looking from the main entrance and get a nice angle into Service. However, we will see Jumps making his way over towards the sauna, as I'm going to call him Buys. I think that's how you say his name, and I really hope it is. His Buys does go in and gets a very quick frag onto Not a Sinner, and now Oz picking up his part of his work and getting the frag there onto Eddie as well, and there goes the Mozzie.
And we're going to be seeing a 5-3 split, and the advantage of Impact Crew, Bad Bunny, and our not in our Cool Vibes, in our Sunrise Bar, trying to catch out anyone going through that way. Draz holding down our main Service entryway as he tries to hold down that main Service hallway. But we are currently having a very hard push coming through that kitchen window. Alvine slowly reloading in front of that default cam and just getting called out absolutely and entirely. They have a minute 45 left on the clock. They can easily plant this down and get a second round win against Impact Beta, which will be an upset in comparison to the last round we saw. Bad Bunny finding a kill onto Yenteg. By the looks of it, Bad Bunny a little bit on our we're going to call it a hair's worth of health. By finding another kill onto Bad Bunny, a very good pick coming through as he goes through into our main kitchen, and everyone just getting caught out everywhere. Jumps is pushing all the way through into Service. Viper, our last person running back into Sunrise Bar. There's not much that you can do from this position, and it is absolutely shown as Alvin just shoots downrange and finds a headshot against Viper.
Yeah, once again, Viper left in that 1vx. This time it was a 1v3. And unfortunately, nothing he could do to escape the ash of Alvin on that round. And now Impact Crew up 2-0. Something that we were ready for, I believe.
I would have to agree with that. We are going to be going for a very similar attacking strategy. We're instead taking the Nomad instead of the Lion for that roam clear, and we're also taking a Dekebi for our secondary roam clear unless one of these ends up being fully sixth picked out, which by the looks of it, with the last 5 seconds on the clock, that is not going to happen. They are going for a very roam denial heavy strategy. The Dekebi does get sixth picked out into a Dekebi, the ultimate strategy. They'll never expect that coming. And we will be seeing a Smoke 6 picked into the Frost, which we'll be seeing a lot coming in on Consulate. Frost being very popular as of late to deny windows such as kitchen window, service entrance. You typically see one upstairs in that VIP lounge is where I find one a lot. But I don't know exactly what's going on in this Frost brain. They deny a Mozzie drone, and that is a headshot, probably for another skin. Yeah, they just have a lot of skins going on. That seems to be Impact Crew's biggest downfall.
They didn't notice. They didn't realize that Mozzie dropped his phone.
I'm gonna be fully honest here. That honestly, the biggest thing working against Impact Crew or Impact Beta is the fact they have all their skins on.
Yeah. But yeah, that phone went down. They were not aware that the Mozzie's phone was dropped as soon as he was dropped. So that will be a free phone if Buys manages to get over there, but it's not going to happen. It's Draz is there for the quick spawn peek, as we now see Bad Bunny having returned to the match. But man, great early pick there from Draz. It was super important for him to get that, and now his team are even in a 4v4.
So it is down to a 4-4, and I fully do believe that Impact Beta will be able to end up taking it to the finish line. Bad Bunny off the charts, though, and being their primary fragger by the looks of it, Draz might be able to fully carry them to the finish line as well. Unless they have properly droned out all of the frost traps, they might get caught out. They seem to be very rushy in their attacking strategy rather than trying to properly drone everyone out. So it is entirely a possibility that while they know that there is a frost, they will get caught out by at least one frost trap, and that is my personal prediction that we will be seeing today.
Yeah, we see the Echo drone being marked here, but it won't quite be taken out as Jumps takes plenty of damage. And as you mentioned, Impact Crew, more of a rush strat kind of team, especially on this map, and is very well executed so far, but they've only got a minute and 30 seconds left on this clock. They have to make a move for the site. We saw the Nomad looking at the window, not sure if she's going to try to go in, but if she does, there will be a frost mat waiting for her unless she manages to take it out. We see Viper trying to get her run out and try to get an angle there, but it's not going to happen as he makes his way back towards the pink bar, and Eddie sitting behind a shield on the service bomb, but nothing quite coming out from Crew yet.
I will have to, yeah. But we are down to our 4-4. We are at 50 seconds left on the clock, so it is just a little bit of a matter of time until Impact Beta takes their first round, unless we're seeing a very heavy rushing strat. Viper getting a really dirty not spawn peek, pixel peek coming through, showing off a little bit more of his carpal tunnel, a little bit, just absolutely getting those gamer skills going all the way through. Albine evening it out to a 3-3 as he takes down Draz. I hope he's placed those cameras into the spots that he wants to and exactly where he wants to, but that is no longer any sort of plant denial, or at least inadvertent plant denial. I have seen Echoes in the past bring that to victory. We are in that delicious 20 seconds, in that 20-second strategy that you like to hear in Rainbow Six Siege. Alvine getting another kill onto Eddie as he runs all the way through entryway, losing the second gunfight. Sinner getting taken out by Yentek. It is down to a 1-2. with Alvine left on the clock. Another whip C4 in the hands of Viper. Viper has just not had any sort of luck coming through on that. Viper getting a headshot onto Oz as well. It's down to a 1-1, and he is going to ultimately through that rotate hole.
Yeah, these rush strategies not quite what you normally see on this map. You do normally see, teams making their way upstairs and taking their time to get that roam clear done, as well as open up the floors and play the vertical plays. However, we will be taking a tactical timeout as our teams get ready for this round 4, which looks like will be on hookah and billiards.
And we are going to be seeing what looks like a lion and a buck on the attacking team, which will assist in their rush strategy.
Yeah, so now we see Buck being brought out. It seems like he might try to go below and try to catch someone, a little by surprise, as we do also see the Nomad having been brought out every round so far. And again, that rotation denial, just trying to slow down the defenders. And I think that's partially what's done the trick for Impact Crew so far, is the fact that they've managed to get into sight, they lay down their air jabs, and they're taking full control, getting the plant down, and forcing that push and that retake back onto site.
And that is the kind of retakes that we will be wanting to see. We are going to be taking that technical timeout, whether or not it is just to change out skins, which I would assume to be Impact Beta really just shooting themselves in the knees by having those skins on and picking them on accidents. They end up having to kill themselves, or much more surrender the round for one player. But I feel like it is much more of either strategy discussion or much more of to try to figure out on whether or not their computers will end up working as well, as that's what I tend to see coming in for these tactical timeouts.
I do agree. So moving on to round 4, like I said, we're going back up to hookah and billiards. Do you have any idea on what Impact Beta might be able to do to slow down the rush attack strat of Impact Crew?
Well, they already have a smoke, they already have a leash, and they already have a Malusi. They're depending really hard on the information coming in from both Maestro and Mozzie. The Malusi going to be able to slow them down, obviously, with her gadget. And then we're going to be seeing the Legion also slowing down with their gadget, and the smoke being our primary denial coming in for a full denial, a full just stopping of momentum, rather than a much more inadvertent both information and area denial and area slowdown gadgets such as Malusi's Banshees or Legion's Goo Needles.
Yeah, very, very well explained there. I think they might have been able to bring a cap can as well and deal a little bit of early damage and help out in the gunfights, as we don't have a Finka on board to help with those attacker health levels. But either way, as you mentioned, the Maestro, the Malusi, Legion, and Smoke, all with information and entry denial, we will be seeing quite a bit. I do hope we see quite a bit of heavier gunfights rather than, being taken out just as quickly. Is something that I think we both wanted for the first round, or excuse me, for the first map. Just everyone just kind of getting slaughtered right away. I kind of hoped, we would see both players give and take some damage, and play that gunfight out a little bit more, waiting for those quick rotates, and really making these rounds go all the way.
We are getting out of our tactical timeout and finally going into our round 4 of the game. So we're going to see where this ends up taking us, but we are going back to our hookah lounge and billiards room, as you have already mentioned. We're going to be 6 picking out our Legion for a Wamai, and that is going to be, in my opinion, a very smart pick, because we do need that projectile denial of some sort, whether it be Swimsuit Lad or Jaeger's ADS.
As you mentioned, the Swimsuit Lad being picked right away, as you said that, we will see those magnets come into play now as we go back up to hookah and billiards. One thing I did notice earlier, I don't think all of the reinforcements that were used, all like I don't know. That could have been just from the kitchen round, which I did definitely notice there were 4 reinforcements still to be used, but that was part of their strategy, is what it seemed to be. So, but we will see. Will Mai start to throw a couple of his magnet discs up towards the door, try to slow down any impacts, stuns, or anything else that might be coming through the door there. Excuse me. And yeah, very, very well placed, I would say. Not very easy to get to unless you manage to find the angle through that big double window. Not sure what's going on over there with, I think that was the Buck and his suppressed pistol there. But yeah, buys. Wow, nice little shot onto that far camera as Alvin makes his way over towards the office double door. Going to open that up very quickly, and Oz going on to drone. Alvin doing quite well already in this map, going 5-1 as an entry fragger, and I think he's quite proven his place as an as an Ash for this team so far. As now we see Viper going to get that first frag, and then actually Alvin being taken out just as quickly by Bad Bunny, and now Beta in the advantage position here in a 5v4 as Viper has taken quite a bit of damage. She's going to be picked up very quickly by the Mozzie as Buzz is still outside that blue window.
And it is down to a 5-3 from the hands of Bad Bunny and Viper. That is quite a hill to be climbing in the hands of Impact Crew. So Bynes is going to be able to try to find some sort of angle through either Sunrise or Blue Barn, trying to catch anyone out, specifically both Viper and Bad Bunny as they were sitting in that office area. They haven't even tried pushing all the way up into our hookah lounge and pool room. So they do still have quite a lot of work to be going through as we hit our last minute 25. Yentek getting caught into a little bit of a gunfight, I thought, and I lied. Bad Bunny's going to be somewhere on the map killing another person in the name of Oz. Oz is going to get taken down. That is quite a lot of roam clear. Bad Bunny finding a third kill, coming in all the way from Sunrise Bar by the looks of it. A little bit of a pixel peek. We're going to be seeing if Yentek takes his inadvertent timeout or this in-game timeout, and he is not. He's going to be going for a wide swing against Viper, aiming for the feet, somehow finding the shots that he needed to find against Viper all the way over in that office area.
All right, so and as we see Draz getting the cheeky pick from the top of the billiards table, or excuse me, from the top of the window, just all the information being fed, but nothing the Nomad could do there, unfortunately. But fortunately for Beta, they've picked up their first round of this matchup now as, oh shoot, I definitely forgot to mark down the kitchen service for Crew, as now we go into a 3-1 in favor of Impact Crew and going back to kitchen service again.
And this time they will not end up killing each other over the fact of skins. I feel like they've already figured that all the way out. They have determined that the Wilmaya is probably the best strategy to be having, because that projectile denial is something that you can't not have. They are still going to be going for the Mira pick as well, which is a very smart pick coming in for service and kitchen, because you can just end up very safely watching that service hallway just very effectively, very safely, and then get those peaks out as well. While it didn't pay out into the favor of Impact Beta last time, they were also a player down last time they tried to do it.
Yeah, and as well, a 6-pit coming out for Oz off of the Blackbeard for Nomad. Interestingly enough, I don't think they've realized that that Beta are going back and forth between billiards or hookah billiards and kitchen and service. They have not touched either the penthouse theater or the double bar sites for this map quite yet. I think it would have been smart for Oz to keep the Blackbeard actually and go on an upside down rappel here, as the upside down rappels are very effective, especially on coastline. In my opinion, the upside down rappels are actually quite OP.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can be. It's something that you're not super expecting, but if you are fully expecting it, and if you are properly oriented as the attacking side, it can be very powerful. Or if the defending team is known, or they know that the attacking team is known for it, they will end up holding out that sight line. It's just a little bit extra split second that you need in order to try to shoot the enemy player. So we'll end up seeing if it does pay off on that upside down repel. Yente getting caught into a bit of a gunfight over in Sunrise with what I believe is Viper. We're going to be switching to our concussion grenades and seeing if it pays any purchase, and it does not. They have already fully given up Sunrise in much more of lieu of our VIP room. They're holding out a very strong upstairs roam because that upstairs is very valuable for the attacking side if they try to push the kitchen.
Yep, and this time we're going to see the sledge being brought out by Jumps as he makes his way upstairs. And actually that gunfight between the Zofia of Yentel was with the Mozzie of Bad Bunny as he was holding that pink bar. I did notice that Viper on the Malusi, speaking of him, going to get a double kill, holding right here in the theater, and very well done. As Alvin goes down to Bad Bunny, putting enough bullets into there, switching over the pistol and finishing that kill. And now Oz and Intel left in a 2v5 as we've got 1:25 left on this clock. I think what they really need to do here is regroup and push together as the diffuser is down already, as the carrier has been taken down. Not quite sure where that diffuser is. If maybe we could get a quick look over there as Yaz and Yinteg start to make their way towards each other to regroup and push together. It does look like they are going to go for that pink and blue push. Plenty of shots and open holes here. As now we see the Zofia going to take those concussions, or excuse me, those impacts, and take out the Banshee from Malusi as one is holding inside of the courtyard here. I do believe that is either the Malusi or the Mozzie of Viper and Bad Bunny, as now we see Viper making his way through Blue Bar. Yeah, I'm not sure if he knows that he has a soft wall. He could definitely get an easy wall bang, as Yintech has taken plenty of damage already here. And he's left on about 20 health, as he's dealt quite a bit already to Not a Sinner as well. But Oz holding behind a little bit, trying to get this peek onto the Mozzie there, but it's not going to connect as needed, as now we see Yintech downed, and they will try to reset him, but it is a 1v5 currently with Yintech down, and it's going to come out as Viper gets that final frag and a flawless round in round 5 here for Impact Beta.
That is a very great way to be ending up to end the round for Viper. That is a 3 kill, a dropping of half the enemy team, or more than half the enemy team. It's technically 2.5 for half a person, but yeah, you know what I mean. But that is a very good way to start turning it around in the terms of Impact Beta. They're going to be going into our halftime round. If Impact Beta can get this win, it will be a 3-3 split, which is much more than respectable, especially with the dropping of those first 3 rounds. They have quite found out the loadouts that they quite need in the hands of both our Mozzie Legion and Mira. The Legion typically does get 6 picked out into the Cade by the looks of it to get that wall denial, and they have no hard breach in the first place, actually. But they're probably expecting to see some sort of hard breach switch, but they are keeping the Blackbeard in the hands of Jumps, which did not work out the first time we saw it on Consulate, and I feel like it will not end up working out yet again. However, with the lack of a hard breach, they don't even really need the Cade, but no one really wants to take that gamble. Plus, C4 is a very nice killing tool to be having.
Well, let's break this down just a little bit. So we have as you mentioned, we have no hard breach and we have no small hard breach. That meaning, no operator that has that single hard breach charge. We do see a Mozzie, Mira, Malusi, Wamai, and Kaid. Now the Kaid, again, like you mentioned, because there's no hard breacher, might not even be needed. However, you place those electro claws and you can still deal a little bit of damage if the attackers get a little too close. So that being said, I don't think it's quite a waste of a pick here, as Eddie is bringing the AUG, so very high rate of fire, as he's probably going to get that kill right there. Actually, I thought he was going to be taken down by Baez as the rush came into play, but it wasn't doing anything. The diffuser left all the way back in the spawn, and Alvin making his way into pink. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left already on the round, and only two players, if you count Alvin, have made their way into the map itself.
It's going to be trying to drone out all sorts of places, whether it be up in VIP Lounge and Hall of Fame, but they are going to be going for trying to catch out anyone being in a really cheeky spot. Jumps just kind of having a bit of an existential crisis over on that VIP hallway balcony. Alvine catching out Viper at a very inopportune moment. Very sad to see in the hands of Viper ever since we have started seeing them as everyone else would put it, popping off with their 8-5 KD. Bad Bunny caught in a little bit of a gunfight against Alvine. Going to be able to find the headshot that he needs with that Glock with a stock. It is down to a minute 40 on a 4v3 impact beta favor.
Is that wall soft?
Yes.
Is that wall that he's looking at right there, like, is that not reinforced? Oh, no, it is. It is. It is. Excuse me. I thought it was not reinforced by Jumps. Going to be taken down very quickly by Not a Sinner. And now Impact Beta starting to make their way back into this match. They're already in a 4v2. They have a minute 15 left on the clock. If they can hold this out, they will go into the half already in a 3-3, which would be huge.
It would end up being a very huge victory for the hands of Impact Beta to make this a 3-3 split. Yente getting caught a little bit out on this VIP, on this Hall of Fame doorway, not catching out anything. Bad Bunny catching out a run-in, but from Yentek, it's just Oz holding out this small area. He's going to get caught up by Bad Bunny. It is just a matter of when, not a matter of if. He is holding it at exact crouch head height, and he does find the kill against Bad Bunny. It is a 3-1 for Oz in the hands of our Lion. And I feel like he does not. It's already good night Irene for Impact Beta. Impact Beta has already gotten this round because it is down to that 3v1 with the Lion not having a whole lot of pushing power. He has a whole lot of support scouting power. And especially with Draz with that Vector, Not a Sinner with that MP5K, and Eddie with Cade's gun with the 9mm AUG, there is quite a lot of gunfire to be going through and only 12 seconds to be able to pull it off. And it is absolutely shown that Draz is able to find that final kill, making it an even 3-3 split for Impact Beta.
Yeah, so Impact Beta, very well executed defense. Now they're going to have to figure out how to attack on Coastline here against their counterpart of Impact Crew. Do you think we're going to see some more rush strats here? Do you think, considering the last map, that Beta is going to play a little bit more tactically and a little bit more vertical?
I would have to agree. We're getting a Cali 6 picked out into a blitz. By the looks of it, Impact Beta going for a little bit of the BM, and they're going to finally 6 pick it out for that Hibana, and they have no wall denial in the hands of our defending side, so that's going to end up being very strong for our attacking side, especially on our hookah lounge. They will be able to push all the way through that main bar wall and get a lot of peaking power through, putting a lot of pressure just from the roof. It is basically free pressure that they'll be able to apply against Impact Crew. And along with that, we have our Iana. We see Iana quite a lot lately as well, with Alvine on our dock and Jumps on our rook, having a lot of French men coming in for our main defending side, something you don't see very often every day.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and a good mention there for the wall denial. As you mentioned, no Kaid, no Bandit, no Mute, which again is a little bit interesting in my opinion that we don't see a Mute being brought out here. Actually, right? No, Mute was not banned. Yeah, Mute was not banned. It was Jaeger and Belk that were banned on defense. So interestingly enough, we're not seeing the Mute. We're not seeing Wamai as well. So all throwables will be in play here as we have 3 sets of stuns. So 9 stuns altogether and 2 frags, as well as 2 soft breach charges for the Ash of Bad Bunny.
And we're going to be seeing Not a Sinner long hauling this big window as well. Going to try to catch out a little bit. Yente going to make it out barely with his life. Alvin getting tagged a little bit as well. But since he is Doc, he should be able to heal himself up. And his teammate, will he get back up? He will not get back up. Draz finds the first kill of the half coming in.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Opening up the wall, as you mentioned. There was no breach denial. But Viper going to be taken out, as well as Bad Bunny, in a quick double pick from Alvin, and I think that was Baez who got that other frag, but Jumps will be taken care of by Draz, and now in a 3v3 with a minute 40 left in the round. Now, to mention real quick, the Hibana play on that main wall to open up the top there, as you kind of saw briefly from Not a Sinner's angle. A really, really great shot. Unfortunately, no mute was on the board, no bandit, so they couldn't really take care of that. That's something that they're going to want to revise for the following round, as we see Lion taking plenty of damage, as well as the Dock of Alvin. Well done to actually get that wallbang angle through there. I wasn't sure if he was going to hit any shots, but does seem that he did.
And then it is down to a 3-3 split. Impact Beta and Impact Crew are completely even at the moment, with Buys holding out our main hookah lounge by the looks of it, using his good old-fashioned toxic babes. Eddie planting down any sort of roam denial, making sure that no one can get all the way around to him. They are really focusing on trying to get through this one little choke point. Buys holding it out very well and very strategically. They successfully flash him out. They double flash him out. Our homie cannot see 3 flashes. And Alvin does end up getting taken out. They threw 3 flashes, and they didn't push on it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I was kind of surprised that they didn't try to take with those flashes, but they definitely needed to get that. They definitely needed to blind him. It has now Oz, unfortunately, team kills his smoke, and Eddie capitalizes. I don't know what to say here. That was very unfortunate.
I would. Well, it's always unfortunate to find any sort of team kill in any sort of game, but especially in a clutch moment like that, that is the exact opposite time that you want a team kill, is where it is basically life or death for the round. And then if you end up team killing, you end up fully losing it. We are seeing a very similar setup on the attacking side and a very similar setup on the defending side. They seem to be very stubborn in their ways, and very stubborn in the ways that they use their operators effectively. We are dropping the smoke this round as well, and we are going to be 6-picking the gridlock for a Nomad as on top of that. So we are getting a much more traditional flank watch, but we aren't getting as much area denial, in my opinion, because gridlock is much more effective at getting that good old-fashioned area denial. And on top of that, she has smokes if you want to go for that smoke plant. And on our defending side, we are carrying not 1, not 4, but 3 C4 bricks.
And once again, the 6-pick coming out, there's no wall denial. So Draz, I'm sure, will open up that wall once again, unless the Legion or maybe Oz or whoever's playing in that hallway manages to get a C4, or the Impact, towards that wall when the Hibana pellets do eventually come out. And we see Doc. Alvin, is he going to go for a spawn peek here?
We might be seeing Alvin going for a bit of a spawn peek. That is a very traditional Frenchman strategy, going for the mad spawn peek against what appears to be and finding nothing. And they all now know that Alvin is a bit locked up out in Aquarium.
Ooh.
They are going to be going for some frag grenades, some very well cooked ones, and he does end up getting punished for that run out. Draz is able to finally punish the Frenchman for being that cocky.
Absolutely baited there by the Zofia, who was that? I think was that a frag? Oh, that was the frag from Sledge. That's who that was. Frag from Sledge came out, baits out the Doc, and then the Hibana of Draz, just an easy pick. As now we see Yinteg on the top of those cool vibe stairs, Bays are in kitchen and service. And now, once again, Hibana pellets on the wall, opening up that wall, making sure no one's over by that billiards table, by that pool table, as we saw Eddie just pick up the kill onto jumps there. So no more pulse being able to be used, as the hologram from Iana definitely gets the, who was that? I think that is the Mozzie of Buys there, just tricking him out there, and now he has to make his way back towards site as Draz goes for the plant, sticks it, and now 45 seconds left on this clock. Bad Bunny and Draz both watching this this luggage angle, but no shots going to connect. Unfortunately, Bad Bunny going to go down, and now Yinteg is left in a 1v4 with Bad Bunny down. But it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter because Eddie's right behind him with an easy pick. and another flawless round coming out from Impact Beta.
Impact Beta just showing that the biggest handicap that they did have was, in fact, their skins, which is very
Yeah.
unfortunate to see. But they have not dropped around ever since they were able to fix up their skin issue. So it is now a 5-3 split. Impact Beta favor as we are going back to our kitchen service entrance area for our defensive side. They have found a bit of their method. They figured out exactly what kind of build they need, exactly what kind of pushing strategies they need in order to push Impact Crew all the way back down to the finish line. We aren't dropping a full Ashe coming in for the sledge. Ashe being a very popular pick, but I guess you could keep your diet Ashe in the hands of Ayana as well, with their in theory infinite intel, and on top of that, frag grenades.
Yeah, the Yana having frags is definitely important here, as pretty much she got Buck's frags. But we're not going to see the Mira being brought into play this round on Kitchen, as this is Impact Crew's first defensive round on Kitchen as well. But as you mentioned, the Ashe being taken out for the sledge, and Bice, what happened there? I think he might have had, did he have an illegal skin as well?
Probably end up having a legal skin as well, which is very, very unfortunate. Finding another one as well, maybe a second one as well, is already down to a 3-5 in the hands of Impact Beta's favor. I feel like it is already good night, Irene, for the round. We have seen, I believe it was skins, judging by the looks it. They're just going for it. They could just be going for drones and just accidentally killing themselves in to do it. But ultimately, it is already a very tough hill for Impact Crew to climb, and I feel like it is already in Impact Beta's favor. They might just go for a full rush, which appears to be exactly what they're going for. They're checking all their corners, dotting their I's, crossing their T's. Bad Bunny all the way in blue bar, already hard swinging our main kitchen area, getting caught out against Oz, who's already watching that sight line. Alvi getting called out by the Lion and finding their fate into the hands of Traz, getting a very, very good headshot against Alvine, which is very unfortunate. And honestly, you really got to learn how to play red light, green light whenever there's a line in play. And clearly, Alvine never played that when he was in day school.
You know, I don't think red light, green light is quite a well-known game in Canada.
Apparently not. Apparently, especially French Canada.
Yeah, French Canada especially. But now we see Yentag going to pick up another kill here, and now leaving his team in a 2v3, but I spoke a little bit too soon, as Eddie and Viper come through for those final frags. And now Beta on match point. As you mentioned earlier, they have not lost a round since round 4, when they picked up their first round, and Impact Crew just not being able to counter anything since that round either, as they are hard stuck on that 3 rounds.
And we are going to be going into our match point Impact Beta favorite. They just have to win this final round, and I feel like it is very doable for the entire team. Not a center going for our Maverick pick. We are going for still no wall denial on the defending side, a very offensive strategy, or a very offensive holding strategy. Again, you could argue a Rooney, but barely.
I don't know. I enjoy having the Aruni. She definitely allows to cut off some of those entry points, and some of those rotate points for the attackers. So that being brought out, I feel like she's going to go ahead and put one on the hookah door, as she'll be able to use up a little bit of their utility, since there's no Wamai or Jaeger on this board either. So we'll see what kind of happens there. We're going to see Malusi and Doc both reinforcing. Malusi reinforcing that VIP wall. Huge, huge, huge if it is not reinforced. You have an easy line of sight to the bomb site, and you can really catch anyone rotating if you get that nice long angle there. We're going to see, I do believe that is the Vigil of Buys in the office. He's going to be called out. And the round starts. No spawn peaks this time, as it seems Oz has learned his lesson from the last one.
Oz has definitely learned his lesson from the last one, not going for that very, very cheeky spawn peak. Alvine, however, going to think the opposite, just running up to window and just finding the final kill against Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny being a very solid pick against him, not only for the operator of Lion being off the table, but just because of the fact that is a very popular fragger. in the hands of Impact Beta. We still have Viper on the table. We still have Eddie on the table. But it is just a lot of damage done to both body and brain.
Yeah. Bad Bunny, unfortunately, not being able to frag out as big as he did in the last map, but it's not really going to matter as his team has done quite a bit of heavy lifting, and now Viper making his way into blue as we see not a Sinner going to get an easy quick peek onto Yintag. Very unlucky. Yes, very unlucky. Very unlucky for Yintag on the Mozzie there, as he just got a little too close to the window as that pre-fire came through, which is very smart though, as the Vigil is going to be called out now, moving through the office, or excuse me, the security room, not activating his ability quite early enough, so he will be called out, and the attackers know where he is. If Eddie gets a quick swing on here, he might be able to go and catch him, but Draz is actually going to get him caught out, and now 3v3 on this board, Doc, with the overstim and a frag coming out. I think he's going to try to open up the hatch there as Eddie trying to get an angle over towards that aqua door, but no one's going to be peeking it quite yet. As I did mention, we are now in a 3v3, 65 seconds left on this clock, and match point for Impact Beta.
When you're hitting on last minute of the match, it is down to that 3v3. Oz bound to lose that overheal, but not paying off any sort of dividends. Eddie caught into a little bit of the classic decision whenever there's a Rudy gate. Do I throw a gadget? Do I just tank it? Or do I sacrifice poor little drone boy? But I feel like they are just going to go for the flash because you do have them for a reason. They are much more of children's birthday party napkins rather than flash grenades, as we have noticed, or much more whenever you do end up throwing them, there is not much pushing power that you can have off of them. We are down to our last 30 seconds. They have to make something happen. They have to make that thing happen fast.
Yep.
Eddie going through a full push, coming in for Aquarium, not quite fully pushing through, but it is going to end up going for a full force or a much more ham-fisted strategy, as we're going to be seeing Draz trying to push through and end up getting killed over by Jumps. It is down to a 3-2, but it might as well be a 3-1 as Not a Sinner is taken down by Alvine. Eddie being our last person on the clock. It is a 5-second left. It is already Goodnight Irene for Impact Beta, or good old-fashioned Impact Crew has already found their W. It is still onto our match point for Impact Beta, but Impact Crew is one step closer to turning it into a overtime tiebreaker.
It's very well defended there by Impact Crew, managing to slow down the attack. I'm not quite sure what happened. It might have been a lapse of intel and just not being able to get that intel and passed on quick enough. But things like this happen. 6-4, match point. Your Impact Beta. What's your strat here? We're going back to kitchen service. We do see the sledge on the board. We see Hibana, Nomad, Iana, and Ash as well. I know that was really weird and out of order, but I digress. What are you thinking here, H? Are we going for a quick rush? Are we going for the vertical gameplay? We have Aruni and Frost both on the board here as well as Malusi and Ella. So plenty of utility being used by the defenders here. So what do you think?
As it is a kitchen service hole, they're going to be going for a very vertical push. If they secure that vertical area, it's not much more of that's where they can get the kills. That's where they can apply it's much more if that's where they can apply the pressure. So there's less places for our defending team to hide. If Impact Crew does not hold out that upstairs as effectively as most would want to, it will end up spelling their doom. But Impact Beta does have a bit more of the stock loadout for Coastline, with the usual lineup of some sorts, along with our Ash and our Sledge. And the only person I think we are missing is maybe a Zafia, but instead we are getting the Ayana, which has also been a very popular pick.
Yeah, we saw the two drones just escaping the Ella after she threw her grease mod onto the double door there of the office, as our attackers start to make their way onto the map now. I did just notice that there's no reinforcement on that middle wall for the connectors, but we see Boys going to be taking just a little bit of damage here from the sledge of Not a Sinner, already on about 75, we'll call that 80 health, as Viper starts to make his way now over towards the office as well. Couple shots coming out, but nothing going to connect, as Bad Bunny going to take a quick peek over towards Pink. No one in Pink, as we can see that no orange highlighted silhouettes are there. So Viper is going to make his way in towards the security room as well. Ella holding down very hard in security, but no push going to come out as a run out comes through. But nothing going to happen is Not a Sinner is going to pick up that kill onto Alvin, and plenty of shots coming out. Frag coming over from the sledge, but it's not going to connect as it just hits off the wall. Second one thought about it, but not quite going to throw as now he backs off, and Ella is safe for the time being.
And we are going to.
Oh, go ahead.
I said we are going to be seeing a very ham-fisted push coming through. We already have Bad Bunny peeking all the way through that kitchen hallway. Not a Sinner. Instead of going for that vertical hold that you'd see much more traditionally, they are going for a much more horizontal push. Bad Bunny finding another kill onto Jumps. Fi's finding a kill onto Eddie. He's going to end up getting caught out fully by Draz. A little bit of the action economy or the death by numbers falling through. There's a minute 20 left in a 4-2 Impact Beta favor. 4-1 Impact Beta favor.
Had Bunny getting a triple kill. A triple kill to end out the match. GG's in the chat there for both of our team and Impact crew. What an impactful first match of this season for Digital Athlete League, DAL, DAL, whatever you want to call it, however you interpret it, but good game and well played to both of these teams. Man, what a matchup we had today.
And I believe that'll call it for our matches. Is there any sort of you can follow me or find me on Twitter at just letter H, just those 3 words. And then you might, Roger, do you have any sort of shameless social media plugs you desire to do?
You know what? Let's be shameless. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and on Twitch. Both Instagram and Twitter are the same at RogerRogerX. And then on Twitch here at RogerRoger Official. I stream mainly throughout the week. So feel free to come through and see those guys. And be sure to be on the lookout for the next matches here on DAL. This is RogerRoger and H signing off for you guys. Thank you for coming through. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
If you want.
Oh, yeah, we could do an interview if anyone's available. No, yeah, that's fine. Let's see if we can get I definitely want, what was his name?
We'll probably be going into an interview phase if we are still streaming, if you guys are still tuned in. But we are finding out shortly.
I definitely want Bad Bunny in here. I think Bad Bunny is our man of the match today. Dropping at so he got a triple kill in the last one. Last time we looked at his score, it was I think 7 kills. So he had possibly 10 or 11 kills at the end of that second map, and he had surpassed 11 kills already in the first map as well. So if we are still live, let me. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can. I'm going to message Bad Bunny.
We will be seeing, ladies and gentlemen, whether or not we can get what seems to be Roger's personal favorite of Bad Bunny into here for a interviewing section. However, I would say that is a very, very good, very good rounds that we saw coming in the hands of both Impacts. And I would have to say that my predictions were right, and we did see Impacts win. And whether or not that is a rigged statement or much more of, a heads I win, tails you lose scenario, it happens. I still win. I still won the prediction that I predicted. So in the ends of it, I did end up winning whatever bets I made on the teams of Impact. But we are going to probably be going into some sort of interviewing section here in just a moment.
Yeah, we're just waiting on a response here from Bad Bunny. Hopefully he will be able to join us, as I think everyone in chat can kind of agree that that Bad Bunny was our MVP for today, as he was the MVP for the first map, and then I'm not sure if he was MVP or not for the second. We'll take a look here in just a second as the match is now ending on my screen. No, he was not the MVP. It was Not a Sinner. However, he was that second fragger for the matchup today. Let's see if he's messaged me back. Unfortunately, no, he is not. Let me see if I can tag him, or if someone wants to drag him real quick. And oh, okay. Well, I think that both teams are doing their post-match meetings. I think we'll just leave it there, and next time, hopefully, we can get an interview with at least one of these guys. But once again, GG and well played to both teams, Impact Beta and Impact Crew. I hope to see more of both of you in the near future. Once again, it's your boy RogerRoger, accompanied by H. Go follow him. Oh, all right. Let's get this real quick then. Please and thank you. And welcome, Not a Sinner. Thank you for that matchup, first of all, and congratulations for this week 1 win. You guys absolutely dominated in the first map on Consulate, taking it all the way 7-0. And then a little bit of a struggle in the first couple of rounds on Coastline, but in the end, managing to get those 7 rounds in a row. What was going on through your mind in those first 3 rounds of Coastline when you guys couldn't quite get your rounds?
Okay, so basically, those guys were pushing really, really aggressively. We had a bit of difficulties actually holding angles against them. They were pushing like together, and those push were really, really good. So on the first 2 rounds, we didn't manage to adapt. But after a couple of rounds, we like talked to ourselves with the tactical timeout and managed to like motivate ourselves and get through it. And it works. It actually worked. We listened to each other and like we cooled down a bit.
Yeah, those first couple of rounds, absolutely incredibly aggressive play from Crew. That was really the one thing I wanted to ask you. Oh, actually, the one thing which I'm pretty sure is also on H's mind. What was up with the team kills? What was up with the TKs? What was up with the skins? I'm guessing it was.
Okay, so just right before we did a ranked match, and our my teammate have a tendencies to put their skins right before the matches, but they literally forgot to remove them. So considering we respect the rules, we had to TK them just before. That's pretty much it.
Fair enough. H, do you have anything to add?
I don't particularly have much questions at all. Personally,
All right.
that was the only real one, and you covered it.
Awesome. Well, Not a Sinner. Once again, congratulations for this week 1 win, and we're looking forward to see what you guys can do in the near future.
Okay, perfect. And I would like to thank you for the cast and the interview. I
Of
wish you
course.
all the best and take care of yourselves.
Thank you. You as well. Have a great night.
Have a great night too.
H, why don't you take this one away?
I would have to say that is probably our first game that we are going to be seeing from DAL in quite a while, and I would hope you guys expect more on, I would assume, a very similar schedule on good old-fashioned Thursdays. Yes, every Thursday then is DAL is whenever we'll be streaming. I have been the letter H, and this has been my co-caster, RogerRoger.
And we will see you guys on the next one.
Mm.